Hey, everybody, and welcome to Teacher Beliefs, Competence, Value, and Pedagogical Beliefs. My name is Stephanie Galvan Russell. I am an instructional systems design and technology student at Sam Houston State University. Again, my name is Stephanie Galvan Russell. I am a middle school librarian in Austin, Texas. I want to move this so you can see. I describe myself as an overall nerd, and I'm very passionate about educational technology and professional development. So you'll see in a few of these slides that things will get a little heated. And to the left, you can see these are all the things that I also describe myself as. All right, so this video is going to have an overview of teacher beliefs, value beliefs, pedagogical beliefs, and competence beliefs. It will also mention why do we need to care about teacher beliefs, how can we develop teacher beliefs, and what are the implications that we can draw on from theory on teacher beliefs for designing technology professional development. So this is one of my big things that I get very passionate about, so just forewarning. All right, so there are three types of teacher beliefs. They are competence beliefs, value beliefs, and pedagogical beliefs. Before we get into all the three different types of beliefs, though, I do want to talk about expectancy value theory. The expectancy value theory provides a framework that analyzes the multidimensionality of perceived values, such as intrinsic value, attainment value, utility value, and cost, as well as perceived competence. So, this has a lot to do with competency values competency beliefs. But as I was reading through the three articles that I'm going to be referencing, I found that it kind of explains all of our beliefs. And like it says, the findings provide an initial support for applying EVT to understand technology integration in classrooms. So I just feel like this is a really important thing to mention before we talk about everything else. So, competence beliefs are, according to EVT, individuals' beliefs about their competence. So, it basically explains that it's how a teacher, in this case, believes they're going to do. And if they don't feel they're going to be successful in the task that they are teaching, or in this case, that they're not going to be successful integrating technology, then they're not going to be. And that, according to let me move this. Dr. Chang's article. Expectancy beliefs refer to how well individuals will do on future tasks, while ability beliefs refer to individuals' perceptions of their current competence for the underlying task compared to their peers. And the two types of competence beliefs are ability beliefs and expectancy beliefs. Then we have value beliefs, and there are four subdomains. We have intrinsic value, attainment value, utility value, and cost. So these are the four different ways that we can describe value beliefs, and they are what teachers believe they're going to get out of teaching technology or teaching and integrating technology into their teaching, their attainment value, the utility value, which is what they think is going to be useful for, and cost, which is in this case time. So, according to Dr. Chang's article, value beliefs are defined as the reasons for individuals to engage in tasks. Value beliefs, again, include intrinsic value, which is the interest, attainment value, which is importance, utility value is usefulness, and costs, in this case, is effort and time. Value beliefs to refer to teachers' perceived importance of using technology to facilitate student learning in classrooms. So, if they think it's important or not, then that's going to explain a lot about how they integrate technology. And finally, teachers' value belief about technology integration was shown to be a multidimensional construct consisting of intrinsic value, attainment value, utility value. So this is just more of repetition about the subdomains, but value beliefs are what teachers believe that they're going to get out of teaching technology, basically. Then we have pedagogical beliefs. And within pedagogical beliefs, we have two different types of beliefs. There are teacher centered and student centered beliefs. And depending on which way the teachers fall, it's going to be different in how they incorporate technology or how they believe they cannot, or how technology can be integrated into their content. So Denison defines the pedagogical beliefs as the understandings, premises, or propositions about teaching and learning. And they also mentioned that it's what we believe to be true. So it can be different for all teachers. Core beliefs about the nature of teaching also are resistant to change because they have been formed over many years of experience and have been supported by strong authority and broad consensus. This explains a lot about those older veteran teachers who do not want to change, who don't want to incorporate technology, they don't see a use for it because they've been doing this for so long that they believe they don't need to change. And that it also explains why new teachers don't have that experience, and so they're willing to try new things. And we'll get into that a little later as well. All right. So for teacher centered beliefs, they're typically associated with behaviorism. And I thought this was really interesting how both of these beliefs relate to different theories. And so that really explains a lot about how the teachers think. They also tend to emphasize discipline, subject matter, and moral standards. These are the teachers that are going to be more strict. The teacher acts as an authority, supervising the process of learning acquisition and serves as the expert in a highly structured learning environment. These, again, are going to be your teachers that are very strict. They believe that teaching is like a knowledge process where the teacher is giving the knowledge to the students rather than the students doing the learning. Student centered beliefs are teachers who tend to emphasize individual student need and interest, and they typically adopt classroom practices associated with constructivism or social constructivism. And these teachers, I feel, just in my own experience, are going to be the ones who develop more relationships with their students. They think about student needs, they think about student creativity, and just how those individual students can learn things differently. I also want to mention some barriers that pedagogical beliefs can also cause. So, in the Tonder et al. Study, the current study highlighted the potential for teachers' pedagogical beliefs that also can be a barrier to technology integration. And the Ertmer and Ottenbreit Leftwich article said that Hennessy mentions that teachers are reluctant to adopt a technology that seems incompatible with the norms of a subject culture. So, for example, a math teacher. Now, as a former math teacher, I completely disagree with this, but many math teachers think that there is no way to incorporate technology into math and teaching math. Now, I know that's incorrect, but a lot of people, again, referring back to older veteran teachers who have had many, many years of doing the same thing, are going to say that they don't need to because it just doesn't work. So, why do we need to care about teacher beliefs? What's a big deal? So, I thought these were really important quotes and I had to leave them all in, and I have them in pretty colors. So, first, we have teachers who perceived integrating technology as time consuming tended to use technology less often. And so that goes back to our value beliefs, because in this case, the cost of time, this teacher does not believe that it's going to pay out enough for her to put in this time. Then we have, for instance, it is likely that teachers who have higher expectations of success toward integrating technology into instruction will use technology even more intensively when they perceive technology to be useful. So basically, a teacher who has a high competency belief will do more in in integrating technology when they think it's going to be useful. Then we have the evidence suggests that teachers with more teacher centered beliefs do not perceive technology as being essential to the teaching and learning process. So, once again, going back to what we talked about here with, whoop, I went too far. I'm sorry. Teacher centered beliefs being those teachers who are not thinking about student creativity, who are not thinking about student needs, and they're acting as an authority. And they think learning acquisition is different, that they're the expert in the material. So, in this case, that teacher is already thinking they don't need to use technology. Then the qualitative evidence confirmed how the affordances of technology supported teachers' existing constructivist beliefs about teaching and learning, including the perceived need to allow students to work in small groups and encourage students to explore and research new ideas. I thought this was super important to include because evidence confirmed that the teachers' already created beliefs were related to what they were already doing in the classroom. So that kind of negates what they said over here by showing that when the teacher is already wanting to include the technology in the classroom, they're already going to want to be successful. And they are going to be successful, and those students are going to have more learning acquisition. And finally, this was also illustrated by the study of Lim and Chan, which suggested that because most teachers' personal learning experience were predominantly through direct instruction, ugh, this one hurts my heart so much. They believed that technology was not essential to teaching and learning and that a whiteboard served their educational purposes equally as well. So, all of this is to say that the way that teachers believe or the things that teachers believe about technology integration definitely affect the way that they teach. So if they are already considering using technology, they're already in that way. They're already willing to try these new things and be open to more. Whereas the teachers who are not, they are already thinking this, they're not going to be successful. They don't want to do it. They don't see any value. So we see how all of these different beliefs are related and they guide the teachers in how they bring technology into their classroom. These some of these quotes really hurt my heart because I am a former teacher and I disagree with a lot of what these teachers who were being interviewed are believing. So, in general, teachers are hesitant to adopt curricular and or instructional innovations. This is especially true of technology innovations because unlike curricular changes which occur only periodically, technology tools and resources are constantly changing. And although teachers might believe that technology helps them accomplish professional and or personal tasks more efficiently, they are reluctant to incorporate the same tools into the classroom for a variety of reasons, including the lack of knowledge, low self-efficacy, and existing belief systems. So this is just reiterating what we've been talking about, that if the teachers don't have the beliefs to back up why in technology integration is important, then they're not going to do it. And this just really shows that if a teacher does not feel like they know what they're doing, they don't believe in themselves, and they don't think it's relevant, they're not going to integrate technology. We also need to care about technology beliefs, and I had to add disgusting down here because this really hurts my heart. This is a really long quote that I know you can read on your own, so I just want to bring out this ending part. So first, they talk about that we have a really low level of using technology in a classroom. A bunch of those teachers are only using PowerPoint to present a lesson. They encourage students to even just Googling to find information. But based on the results of the Speak Up 2007 national survey, part of Project Tomorrow, 51% of the responding teachers reported that their primary uses of technology to facilitate student learning comprised of just asking students to complete homework. This hurts me so much because I used to work for a company, an ed tech company, where we did professional development and training and teaching teachers in using how to incorporate technology into their classroom in every subject. And so when we're only asking students to complete homework online, we're really doing them a disservice. So I had to add that I found that disgusting. So, going from the sad negative things about what we're talking about, how can we make this better? How can we develop teacher beliefs? So, to develop competency beliefs, self efficacy can be developed through positive experiences with technology. These experiences don't even have to be personally experienced by the teacher. Vicarious experiences also have the potential to develop teacher self efficacy. In other words, teachers can develop confidence by hearing about or observing other teachers' successful efforts. And one way to accomplish this is to provide opportunities for in service teachers to share their success stories at grade level or discipline based teacher meetings. And this is why I feel that PLCs are so important, but also why it's important to learn from our peers, because you can learn from a professional anytime and feel like, oh, that's just not going to work in my classroom because they don't know my kids, they don't know my population, etc., etc. But when a teacher can learn from their peer, from another teacher, from someone on their level, that's going to do so much more for them. So I always fully believe in learning from each other is going to boost that morale and allow you to do more. Some more ways to develop competence beliefs are: the most powerful strategy appears to be helping teachers gain personal experiences that are successful. And administration can also encourage teachers' efforts by supporting experimentation. This is that tried and true allowing you to fail forward. So if an admin is supporting experimentation, trying new things in the classroom, and allowing those teachers to have good and bad experiences, they're going to learn from that, and that's going to boost their competence beliefs. Next, how do we develop value beliefs? Well, one example will describe the importance of enacting a district-wide effort in order to implement student-centered technology uses. Furthermore, they recommend that a shared vision be created among all stakeholders. including board members, parents, teachers, administration, in order to create sustainable and successful educational reforms that integrate technology. So, really, if a teacher is part of the group of people who's coming up with a shared vision or a shared vision statement, then they're going to have more in that, more value. They're going to get more out of that because they're going to be a part of that success statement and they're going to want to be a part of it. And some ways to develop pedagogical beliefs. Technology rich learning experiences have the potential to change teachers' beliefs towards the more student centered beliefs. And the Levin and Wadamani study showed that after a 3-year period of teaching and learning in a technology based environment, changes occurred in the beliefs and practices of the 6 participating teachers that were in it. And to truly change beliefs, teachers need to feel comfortable testing new ideas based on these beliefs in their classrooms. To adopt technology as an innovation, teachers need to be willing to take risks. So, once again, giving those teachers the opportunity to try things and fail and be successful. So, what are the implications that we can draw from theory on teacher beliefs for designing technology professional development? I thought all of these quotes really helped explain the good and the bad, how we can change professional development. So, if the goal of the PD is to change teachers' beliefs, evidence suggests that long term professional development is more likely to promote such a change. So, if someone just comes in and does a quick 30 to 45-minute session for teachers, it's not going to do so much as a long term thing will. And making sure to stress the importance of professional development as an iterative process. So, again, making sure we have that long term where things are always continuing to change. A better understanding of the role of pedagogical beliefs is needed for teachers to benefit from professional development aimed at increasing educational technology use. And so, again, I think really needing to know what those teachers believe ahead of time is going to help guide that professional development. In the Tonder et al. Article, they said the findings indicated that changes occurred in the beliefs and educational practices of participating teachers. But it's important to remember that not all teachers will benefit from professional development. So, again, talking about those veteran teachers who are just stuck in their ways, they may not benefit. They may just listen and then go back to do what they do. So, to help teachers change their practice, we must help them to expand and elaborate their knowledge systems. So, again, it is really important to make sure that we're teaching teachers and they're continuously learning in order to want to and be successful in integrating technology. I also thought this was really important, and I had to note down here at the bottom, professional development could have fixed this, because this really hurt my heart when I read this, that it said, for example, a teacher in the Winchell and Saul study arranged the classroom desks into 6 groups of 3 to facilitate the desired group interactions, but rearranged the desks back into rows in order to assert her authority. And I really thought that a professional development session for her on classroom management would have really impacted not only this teacher, but also her students, because she would be learning better classroom management strategies, and she wouldn't have to be asserting her authority. And again, at the top, this sentence, another barrier that hindered teachers' adoption of student-centered technology was the perceived lack of control. And again, that's a lack of classroom management. That has nothing to do with the use of technology. And so some professional development sessions that I would recommend focus on classroom management as well as teaching the SAMR technique. When I was a new teacher, we had a lot, but I went to school to be a teacher. I didn't become a teacher through emergency certification, alternative certification. I went to Texas A&M University, and my plan has always been to teach since I was little. And so as a student at Texas A&M, we had a class on classroom management in the education department. So I feel like if we built on those courseworks in professional development, teachers who need classroom management strategies could greatly improve their classroom practices. And also, something I learned as a novice teacher was the SAMR technique, which is substitute, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. And that is an easy way to help teachers and have a scaffolding process to teach them how to use and integrate technology in the classroom. And as for professional development and in service, I thought it was important to note that in the Ertmer and Ottenbreit Leftwich article, they distinguish between the two. So professional development is for teachers who are currently teaching. So it's their ongoing learning. And in service are Sorry, yes, and in service are for the teachers who are not already teaching or who are just starting teaching. They're learning to develop those strategies they're going to use in the classroom. And the Ertmer and Ottenbreit Leftwich article also said helping teachers achieve the types of changes described will require a two-pronged approach. So, teaching those teachers in the beginnings in the education programs and teachers that are currently teaching. So, making sure we're addressing all the teachers and helping them all to learn about technology integration. And I thought it's also important to include that the most important feature of a professional development program is a strong focus on helping teachers understand how students learn specific content and how specific instructional practices and tools can support student learning outcomes. Because if we don't fully understand not just our content, but our students, then there's no way we're going to reach them in the first place. So we have to first learn about how students are learning, making sure that we're addressing all types of learning and how specific instructional practices and tools can affect different things. So, if you want your students to learn this, knowing how this kind of technology is going to help. I also want to address that school culture, campus culture, even district and community culture is everything. And this is a really long quote, but I feel like it's important to note that teacher beliefs have been shown to be heavily influenced by the subject and school culture in which they participate. And in the Ertmer and Ottenbreit Leftwich article, they talked about how peer pressure never ends, especially for teachers while they're teaching. New teachers experience that peer pressure from their teacher peers, and so, based off of those attitudes, it's going to influence how they integrate technology. And finally, school culture it was also important because the qualitative findings highlight the importance of school policies. According to Hennessy, a conscious effort is needed at the institutional level to create opportunities, particularly with a cross curricular subject like technology, and to clarify departmental responsibilities. So, making sure that teachers know that it's okay. So, if the administration is actually supporting their teachers and letting them know they're supported and being allowed to try new things, then the teachers can be successful. But if the administration isn't doing that and isn't allowing the culture to be one of trying new things, then the teachers are not going to be willing to try. And if a school doesn't have these characteristics, it's still possible that the subject culture to which a teacher belongs can initiate and support meaningful technology uses, particularly at the middle school and high school levels where teachers tend to work on grade level or discipline based teams. So, if they're not part of a toxic culture, if they're not part of a specific team, they could still be willing to try new things. It just is going to be a little harder for them. So here are my references. And thank you for watching this. Thank you for sitting through this with me. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at smg050@shsu.edu or find me on my website, stephaniegalvanrussell.com. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.